G'day, legends. The wait is over. The first UFC event of 2026 is almost here. UFC 324, Gaethje vs. Pimblett is set to light up the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Gaethje brings chaos, pressure, and fight-ending power. A man who drags anyone into deep waters, whether they like it or not. Pimblett, on the other hand, thrives in unpredictability, awkward timing, sharp submissions, and that unshakable confidence. This isn't just experience versus youth, it's a real test of whether Pimblett's rise is ready for the elite.
All we hear is about Paddy the baddie, Paddy the baddie.
Or whether Gaethje reminds everyone that violence is still his language. Me and my Husky have the breakdowns, predictions, and fight analysis covered. If you're backing accurate MMA content, smash the like button and subscribe. Let's get into it. And as always, stay Husky. Kicking off the card in the featherweight division, we have Ty Miller taking on Adam Fugitt. Miller's at his best when he's touching from the outside, doubling the jab and forcing opponents to reset. He doesn't need to win exchanges big, just with clean stick and move score. Over 3 rounds, Miller's steady output and composure can wear on Fugitt, especially if the early finish doesn't come. If Miller avoids standing in the pocket too long, he can minimize Fugitt's biggest weapon. Fugitt is most dangerous in round 1. If he can force Miller into exchanges, he can flip the fight quickly, turning it into a messy fight. Knees, dirty boxing, short shots favors Fugitt. Miller isn't reckless, but if he backs straight up or lingers too long, Fugitt only needs one clean moment. Miller's discipline, cardio, and cleaner shot selection should be enough to neutralize Fugitt's explosiveness after the opening frame. Give me Ty Miller by decision. In the bantamweight division, we have Ricky Turcios versus Cameron Smotherman. Ricky is pure chaos. He fights at a ridiculous pace. He throws volume from weird angles and thrives when fights get messy. His biggest weapon here is pressure and unpredictability, blitzing in, forcing scrambles, and making Smotherman uncomfortable. He'll want to turn it into a high-output, ugly fight, mix in reactive takedowns and scrambles, and drag Cameron into late-round chaos where cardio matters more than technique. Then Ricky can steal rounds with activity and aggression, even without big moments. Smotherman is the cleaner, more composed striker. He's patient, technical, and much better at range management. If he stays disciplined, he can stick behind the jab and straight shots. He can pick Turcios apart as he rushes in. He'll need to stay calm in scrambles, disengage quickly, and reset. Ricky tends to overextend and throw himself out of position. That's where Smotherman can bank rounds with clean counters and control. Turcios will have moments, but Smotherman's poise, cleaner striking, and shot selection should win him the rounds. Give me Cameron Smotherman by decision. And in the heavyweight division, we have Josh Hokit versus Denzel Freeman. Hokit is a pressure fighter with a lot of energy. He likes to push pace and force scrambles, which can overwhelm opponents who aren't used to the volume. His relentless pressure to keep Freeman on the back foot, force clinch work or grappling exchanges, and look for a late round chaos where aggression can sway judges. If he keeps Freeman reacting rather than dictating, he can edge rounds without big finishes. Freeman is more calculated and technical. He likes to strike cleanly, pick his shots, and counters aggressive fighters. His composure can make Hokit overcommit. He'll want to maintain the range and pick his counters, avoid the scrambles where Hokit thrives, using timing, defense to control the pace. If Freeman stays disciplined, he can outscore his opponent with cleaner striking and smarter decision-making. Freeman can survive the early storm. If he can't, this is exactly the type of fight where Hokit's forward pressure and power can end things suddenly. Give me Josh Hokit by KO. In the lightweight division, we have Michael Johnson taking on Alexander Hernandez. At his best, Michael Johnson is one of the fastest southpaws boxers in the division. His hand speed, straight left, and ability to fight long can absolutely give problems to anyone. He'll want to stick and move from his boxing from range, catch Hernandez coming in with clean counters, force Hernandez to reset instead of charging forward. The key is discipline. If MJ stays composed and doesn't get reckless, he can outland Hernandez round by round. Hernandez wins when he's the aggressor with structure. He's explosive early, hits hard, and mixes in wrestling far better than Johnson. His path to victory is a fast start with pressure and power. Mix in the takedowns and clinch control, and make Johnson fight at a pace and range he doesn't like. If Hernandez seizes top control, Johnson's tendency to give up rounds on the mat becomes a major factor. This feels like a classic Michael Johnson fight. Competitive early, moments of brilliance, but ultimately losing rounds due to control and consistency. Hernandez's wrestling and pressure should be enough to steal key moments and bank rounds. Give me Alexander Hernandez by decision.
Reincarnated, I was stargazing. Life goes on, I need all my babies.
In the flyweight division, we have Alex Perez taking on Charles Johnson. Perez is at his best when he's dictating the pace with pressure and wrestling threats. He's explosive early and throws sharp combinations and can mix in takedowns to disrupt rhythm. He'll want a fast start with his boxing combinations and level changes to keep Johnson guessing. Control key moments with top pressure or clinch work. He can win the early rounds and keep the fight physical. He can bank rounds before Johnson settles in. Johnson thrives in longer technical fights. He's rangy, durable, and gets better as the fight goes on. His cardio and output are major weapons. He'll want to survive that early pressure and use volume and movement to drag Perez into deep waters. Take over in rounds 2 and 3 with pace and activity. Turn it into a cardio battle. It will then stronger favor Johnson. Johnson's durability and conditioning should allow him to take over late. Give me Charles Johnson by decision.
I hate people. I hate people.
In the light heavyweight division, we have Nikita Krylov taking on Modestas Bukauskas. Krylov is a well-rounded fighter. He mixes striking with grappling to neutralize Bukauskas' power, use his leg kicks and angles to avoid being a stationary target, and look for submissions or controlling scrambles if he can't trade punches. Krylov thrives in longer fights where technique beats raw power. This is where Bukauskas shines. One-shot knockout power. He's explosive, aggressive, and thrives when he dictates the pace with heavy strikes. He'll want to start fast and press hard, cutting off the cage, land a clean, heavy shot early, overhand right, left hook, or big body shot. Avoid extended grappling exchanges and keep it standing. If he connects, the fight can be over in a single moment. If Bukauskas lands early and forces Krylov to react, he can absolutely secure a KO. Krylov can survive outpoint him if the fight goes the distance, but the real danger is the explosive power. Give me Modestas Bukauskas by KO. And in the middleweight division, we have Ateba Gautier taking on Andrey Pulyaev. Ateba wins this fight by coming out fast and violent. His path is simple. Push the pace, overwhelm Pulyaev early, and make every exchange count. He thrives in short, explosive bursts, landing power shots and finishing sequences before his opponent can reset. Ateba doesn't let his opponent find rhythm. He forces mistakes with sheer aggression. Pulyaev wins by surviving the early storm and turning the fight into a measured battle. If he can weather Ateba's initial assault, he can start picking shots, finding openings, and slowing down the pace. The key for him is patience, letting Ateba's energy slip slightly and capitalizing with timing and accuracy. Ateba's record shows he thrives in early explosions, and there's no reason to expect that to change. Pulyaev has skill, but he'll likely never have the chance to fully settle before the first round ends. Give me Ateba Gautier by knockout.
I think I'm losing control.
And in the bantamweight division, we have Umar Nurmagomedov versus Deiveson Figueiredo. Umar wins this fight by controlling the pace and his positioning. He's at his best when he dictates where the fight happens, keeps distance manageable, and picks moments to strike without overextending. By moving intelligently, using angles, and keeping Figueiredo from planting his power shots, Umar can slowly accumulate points and rounds. This isn't a fight he needs to end early, it's about consistent, measured dominance. Figueiredo wins by forcing chaos and landing high-impact moments. His best path is to close the distance quickly, disrupt rhythm, and try and finish with power. If he can create scrambles or land sudden explosive shots, he can turn the fight in a blink. The risk is high. One mistake and Umar's discipline punishes him. Umar's style naturally slows Figueiredo down, making it hard for the explosive striker to find openings. Over 3 rounds, Umar's control, timing, and composure should be enough to edge the scorecards. Give me Umar Nurmagomedov by decision.
All right, partner. Keep on rolling, baby. You know what time it is.
In the featherweight division, we have Arnold Allen taking on Gene Silva. Allen wins this fight by controlling distance and pace. He's best when he's picking his shots, moving laterally, and making Silva overcommit. By staying smart, crisp, and measured, Allen can force Silva to take risks by minimizing his own exposure. If Allen keeps the exchanges technical and avoids big swings, he can rack up rounds and slowly tilt the fight in his favor. Silva wins by embracing chaos and pressure. He thrives when he can push forward, force brawls, and make every exchange violent. His path is not subtle, it's explosive, and he's looking for openings to capitalize immediately. If Silva can draw Allen into exchanges and stay reckless, his volume and power give him a real chance to end the fight quickly. Silva's love of violence has led him to moments of pure blood rush in the past, and that aggression is often his strongest weapon. Look for him to have learnt from his recent loss, making smarter decisions while keeping the threat of chaos alive. His pace and pressure and refined approach, Silva should find the opening he needs. Give me Gene Silva by knockout. In the women's flyweight division, we have Natlia Silva taking on Rose Namajunas. Silva wins this fight by dictating the rhythm. It's all about movement, range management, and never letting the fight settle into a comfortable pattern for Rose. If Silva stays light, stays active, and constantly changes looks, she can control minutes without forcing exchanges. This isn't a fight where she needs to prove anything. It's about touching, exiting, and staying one step ahead. By keeping the pace dynamic and unpredictable, Silva can build rounds without taking unnecessary risks. Rose wins by finding timing and turning moments into meaning. She doesn't need volume, she needs the right reads. If Rose can slow the fight down, draw Silva into exchanges, and capitalize on openings with precision, she can swing rounds with clean, impactful moments. Her path relies on control and composure, not chasing. This is about making Silva fight her fight, calmer, tighter, and more deliberate. This feels like a tempo battle. Silva brings moments and activity, Rose brings timing and experience. Over 3 rounds, I trust Silva to win more minutes, even if Rose has the moments of success. Silva's consistency and pace should be enough to edge the scorecards without giving Rose sustained control. Give me Natlia Silva by decision.
So you know it's going to be fire.
I don't even know what she said because she formed. It's formed.
And in the heavyweight division, we have the big boys going at it. Waldo Cortes-Acosta versus Derrick Lewis. Waldo wins this fight by staying disciplined and letting the fight come to him. He doesn't need to chase Derrick Lewis. He needs to make Lewis work to reach him. By controlling distance and picking moments and steadily increasing output, Waldo can wear on Lewis without exposing himself to chaos. The key is patience, clean entries, clean exits, and making every exchange cost something. As the fight progresses, Waldo's consistency and composure become weapons. If he stays sharp, the pressure flips and openings start to appear. Lewis wins this fight in one moment. He doesn't need volume, momentum, or control. He needs a window. If Waldo steps wrong, lingers too long, or gets careless in range, Lewis can end the fight instantly. This is about timing and optimism. Lewis is dangerous as long as the fight is standing. The threat is always there, even when he looks quiet. This is patience versus explosion. Lewis is live early, very live. But if Waldo navigates that danger and keeps things structured, the fight starts tilting his way. The longer it goes, the more it favors calm pressure over raw power. Give me Waldo Cortes-Acosta by knockout. And in the now co-main event, in the bantamweight division, we have Sean O'Malley taking on Yadong Song. Sean wins this fight by controlling space and tempo. This is about range, timing, and making Yadong fight at Sean's pace, not his own. If O'Malley keeps the fight long, touches without overcommitting, and constantly forces resets, he can rack up rounds without ever needing to chase a finish. Sean doesn't need chaos here, he needs clarity. This is the fight where precision matters more than power. If Sean stays disciplined and defensively responsible, he can quietly take minutes and rounds while limiting return fire. Yadong wins by closing the distance and making it physical. His path is pressure, not reckless, but persistent. If he can back Sean up, crowd the space, and force exchanges along the fence, the dynamic changes. Yadong doesn't need one moment, he needs repeated collisions where his presence and activity are felt. The more this fight turns into a mid-range scrap instead of a long-range striking match, the more dangerous Yadong becomes. This feels like a high-level chess match, not a brawl. Yadong will have moments, he'll land, he'll push. But over 3 rounds, I trust Sean's ability to win time, not just moments. Sean's movement shot, selections, and composure should be enough to edge the rounds without taking unnecessary risks. Give me Sean O'Malley by decision. And in the main event of the lightweight division for the interim championship, we have Justin Gaethje taking on Paddy Pimblett. Gaethje wins this fight by turning it into controlled chaos early. He thrives when the pace is violent but purposeful, forcing exchanges, chopping leads, and making every second uncomfortable. If Justin keeps the fight in the pocket and makes Paddy react instead of initiate, the damage accumulates fast. Gaethje doesn't need to rush, he just needs to make every exchange hurt, break rhythm, and force mistakes. If this becomes a fight where Paddy has to bite down repeatedly without being able to reset, Gaethje's pressure and power can end it suddenly. Paddy wins this by surviving the storm and weaponizing the later rounds. He doesn't need to win every minute early. He needs to stay composed, mix his attacks, and keep Gaethje guessing. As the fight stretches on, Paddy's willingness to push forward, take risks, and stay dangerous everywhere starts to matter more. If Justin slows even slightly, Paddy can turn momentum with pressure, volume, and optimistic finishing instincts. This fight favours the guy who's still willing to go to dark places late, and Paddy has shown he's comfortable there. This matchup screams violence. 10 of Gaethje's last 5-round UFC fights have failed to go to the distance, and 8 of those have been ended by KO. That tells you something about how these fights usually end. Not if, but when. Gaethje is dangerous early, Paddy is dangerous late. I see Gaethje having moments landing big, making it ugly, but the longer this fight goes on, the more it shifts. Give me Paddy Pimblett by KO.